Hey everybody, it's Helen Hillix and welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today. And today I am talking about results. The promise of results, 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 and what you really want instead. You know, I'm on social media a lot because I'm on social media. And so I see a lot of what's going on there on Instagram and Facebook especially, but I know it's on Twitter and TikTok and everywhere else and YouTube. So why do we get so hung up about results? And it sells, doesn't it? It sells. You know, I promise you, you're going to lose 50 pounds, you know, with my program, or you're going to build muscle, or you're going to get the guy of your dreams. And so let's just pause for a second and talk about what is the definition of a result. And it is a specified end or outcome. Now, there were lots of other definitions in there, but, you know, that corporate profit and loss, you know, all of that sort of thing. But the congealed definition that makes the most sense to me is that one, is that it's a specified outcome or end that you're seeking. And so, you know, let's list a few of them. And you, again, you will resonate with these because you've seen them on social media and all over the place. Movies, TV. Find the man of your dreams. Find your soulmate. Have better orgasms, put an end to erectile dysfunction, become a millionaire in 3 months or 6 months or whatever, get well from an illness with this method or that, buy a bigger house, double your income, get married, have a baby, move to Hawaii, quit your job and become an entrepreneur. You know, lose 20 pounds, double your breast size, you know, buy a Jaguar, live abroad. You know, I could go on and on with all the promised results. You know, sell your high ticket items with our new technique. It's amazing the things that are sold by promising you a result. And what is it that you really want from those results? You know, it seems like what they're saying is that the money is going to make you happy, or the whatever it is gonna, that the having that thing is the result that you want. But I kind of gave it away already, but it's like, it's not really the having the money or having the breast size or losing the 20 pounds or even getting married that is the result you're looking for. You know, what you're looking for is an assumption or a belief that you have about that result. You know, you believe it's going to make you feel a certain way. And everybody develops different beliefs about different results. If you were raised in a particular traditional way, you believe that getting married and having a baby is the absolute quintessential best result of your life. On the other hand, if you were raised to believe that amassing a lot of money is absolutely the right way to go and that you're a loser if you don't, then that is the result that you're looking for, and you have a certain belief about that particular result. You know, if you have come to associate orgasms with ecstasy, let's say, then you have a belief that the only way you're going to have ecstatic experiences is having different kinds of orgasms. So it's all based on the fact that you have developed certain assumptions or connections to certain results. And if we go down the list, you know, let's go down the list a little bit and talk about some of the results that you think you want and what you have associated with them. Okay, so find the man of your dreams. You probably have an association with that, and I can laugh at myself about this, is that once you find the man of your dreams, that all of your needs will be met, that he will fulfill you, that he will want you, that he will nurture you, that he will provide for you in some way or a million ways. So you have all of these expectations and associations attached to find the man of your dreams. And of course, anyone in the world who has, quote unquote, found the man of your dreams, you know that very quickly it's like any other experience in life. There are pros and cons, there are incredible challenges and great rewards. But that's not what is advertised when you find your soulmate or find the man of your dreams. If they're promising you that result, they're playing into the fact that you have an association with, if I can just find him, then all my needs will be met. The same thing goes for having kids. We have such a romanticized perspective about having kids, and we've been brainwashed, because if everybody didn't get brainwashed about having kids, many people wouldn't do it. And I can tell you, in the 35 years that I've been doing, coaching and counseling, I can't tell you how many people have come in and said, I feel so guilty, but I do not like my kids so much of the time. I love them, but I don't like them. And I'm bored and I'm challenged and I'm reactive. And, this is perfectly natural. But you were sold a bill of goods that the result for a woman, you are not a woman if you don't have a baby or 5. And so you think that having a baby is going to bring you this particular result of feeling fulfilled in your purpose in life. But actually, what you get is just one more enormous challenge, and usually lots of love to go along with it. What do you associate with becoming a millionaire? Well, most of us associate a feeling of security and safety with becoming a millionaire. But it's interesting, because I have a new client that used to have a particular kind of job, and he became very wealthy, yachts, multiple homes, etc. And then the world shifted, and the kind of job he had was no longer needed. It was replaced by technology, and he could never make the transition into an equivalent kind of career move where he would make all that money. And it didn't provide him the safety and security that he thought it was going to provide. So all of these results, losing 20 pounds. Okay, so you've lost the 20 pounds. Let's say you meet that result. What do you think is going to happen? Well, it's those 20 pounds that are keeping me from being attractive to men or women, whatever I'm attracted to. And yet, if I lose those 20 pounds and I am sexier and I'm more attractive, then I will, have that feeling of being wanted, of being good enough. Of course, that result doesn't bring that feeling, because all of these things are based on something so much deeper. The feelings that you're looking for do not come from accomplishing that particular result. But let's go a little deeper, even than security or being wanted or being loved or whatever. Let's go a little bit deeper than that, even that you're going to be successful and you're going to feel successful. You're going to feel attractive. Underneath all of that is a common, much deeper, universal feeling of wanting to be at peace with life, wanting to be able to love ourselves, wanting to be able to flow with life and handle life, which again goes back to inner peace. Happiness the Dalai Lama, I can't remember if this is the name of a book or not, but I think it is. It's like the purpose of life is happiness. And the Dalai Lama is not talking about the happiness of, getting high on cocaine. The Dalai Lama is talking about that true happiness comes from a much deeper, more universal experience that I'll talk about more in a moment. But I read a study recently that was very fascinating to me, and I've shared it many times. Maybe you've heard of it, about, does money, having more money, make you happier and more satisfied with your life? And these were the results: that up to an income of $60,000 a year, the increase in money does make you more content with your life. So, that made a lot of sense to me, because if you don't make $60,000 a year, you are struggling. You're struggling to pay your bills. You're struggling to have your needs met, to be able to purchase things that you need. So that made sense to me, that up to $60,000 a year, you do say that you're more happy if you have more money. But between 60,000 a year and 60 billion a year, there was no difference in how they rated their lives in terms of happiness and satisfaction with their life. That just said so much to me. It's not what our society tells us, but it's what people self-reported in incomes between 60,000 and 60 billion. There was no increase in happiness with an increase in money. So it kind of blows apart that theory. On people's deathbeds, I know you've heard this so many times, but there was an old movie, You Can't Take It With You. And people say this all the time, but we just don't get it. That on the deathbed, people don't say, oh, I wish I had gotten a bigger business. I wish I had made more money. I wish I had gotten bigger breasts. I wish I had had more orgasms. People don't say that. They say, I wish that I had better connections with myself, with the universe, especially with other people. I just taking a pause and letting that sink in again. You've probably heard it many times, but let it sink in again. That all these specific results that people are promising you and that your ego tells you is important, they are not important in bringing you the essential happiness of life. Because you don't need a new car or large breasts or whatever to have great connections. What you need is a certain level of consciousness and awareness and tools and practices that help you cope with relationships and cope with life, that strengthen you emotionally and spiritually and socially, that strengthen you in all of your relationships with yourself, with the universe, and with life, and with other people. That's what brings real happiness. And of course, you have to have intention to do that. You have to intend to learn that. You don't just learn it by accident. But I want to give just a couple of examples of people have come to me. One woman who's a physician herself, a brilliant, wonderful person. And she came to me because she's never had an orgasm. Now, and she felt like this is something she really had to have. This is a result she really had to have in order to have a happy life. And after working for a few months, she met a wonderful, wonderful man, and, told him right away that she had never had an orgasm, but that she loved sex. And they bought books and vibrators and different things to try to focus on helping her have an orgasm. But you know what? Several months later, they've put those all away because they are so happy, so satisfied, so much peace between them, and so much, ecstatic experience between them, that they realize it's not about orgasms, it's about the connection. And they have the most wonderful, intimate, tender, passionate connection. They're fully satisfied, both of them. I have another couple that I've been working with, and she came in saying that, the result she wanted was a squirting G-spot orgasm. That's what she came for. And of course, that's not really what she wanted. Once we looked deeper and deeper, what that represented in her mind was a passionate connection between her and her husband, which is developing. And I haven't heard her mention squirting G-spot orgasm for a long time, because she's found something that's much more satisfying to her than that external kind of result-oriented thinking. So you need inner peace, not more outer results. So what if you could follow guidance and inner wisdom instead of focusing on a specific result? Well, of course, as I mentioned a minute ago, you still can intend things for sure. You can intend to find a partner. You can intend to get a better job. You can intend to replace the car that you have with something more comfortable and fuel efficient or whatever, or a larger house to accommodate your expanding family. Of course, we have to have intentions. You can intend to get into better shape. But you have to also develop your ability to allow for the input from the universe. You can intend to get into better shape and jog every morning, and then you fall and injure your knee, which has happened to me before. And you have to allow for that. You have to find a way to learn from that experience, to grow from that experience. And this goes back to your real happiness depends on your level of awareness, your level of consciousness, and your ability to cope with the process of living. That's what makes you happy. You can intend to have a great relationship with your children, and one of them becomes a drug addict. That's also happened to me. And during those years when she was a drug addict, our relationship was extremely limited. And I had to allow for that, even though I intended to be super close to her, but I had to allow for her journey, and even for the possibility that she could die any day. And I had to use that time, instead of being close to her, I had to use that time to strengthen myself and to develop my inner peace. And of course, as the universe would have it, she is long recovered from that drug addiction, and we are incredibly close. And that closeness is tremendously enhanced by my consciousness, which I've been able to share and support her with, and to develop herself. So we have to intend things, and we get to develop and strengthen our ability to allow for input from the universe that contradicts our intention. How many times have you wanted to marry somebody or date somebody, and some of you got your wish and married that somebody, only to find out, oh my God, he is a raging, sex addict who never wants to have sex with me and only wants to have sex with himself in pornography and prostitutes, and there is no relationship whatsoever. Or you wanted to marry this beautiful woman with this incredible body, only to find out that, she seduced you before marriage, but now she won't touch you, and she is a raging maniac. And it's like so many stories I've heard about this, and I've had it happen to me. I met a guy, really wanted to marry him, and it turned out he was abusive and intolerable. So, how many times have you wanted a particular job and didn't get it, and then found out a few months later that the CEO has been indicted for fraud, and you would have been caught up in all of that. Thank God you didn't get that job. So it's good to intend things, but it's also really, really powerful to allow for the intervention from the universe and not to get all hung up in a particular result that you make happen, that you're just dead set on making happen. Let it go. Let it go and let the universe guide you. I'm working with a client who met a guy and he professed to be, you know, I want you to feel safe. I want you to be able to tell me anything. You know, I want you to feel cared for and all of that. And we can talk about anything. I really believe in honesty and processing. But whenever she brought up something after the first month or so of this seductive talk, every time she brought up something to process, he would basically shut her down and push her away and make her feel like her input was not welcome at all. And so, you know, he seduced her in and then trained her to not intervene with him ever, not ever call him on anything. And then in the end, you know, he got sick and used that as an excuse to, you know, I'm just overwhelmed right now. And, you know, I'm not available for a relationship. And she was dead set on making this relationship work rather than, of course, having the intention to see what was possible, but also allowing for the input that was coming to her. Letting herself see, this is interesting information that he says this, but this is how he's behaving. So when you're dead set on a result, you're not paying attention. You're not using your consciousness and your awareness to take in the information that would allow you to shift, would allow you to make choices depending on all the information that you're gathering through this experience and through the process, whether it's the intention to start your own business or the intention to stay with this particular guy or the intention to have a baby or whatever it is. It's like you have to keep allowing for the input from the universe. If you're dead set on having a baby, but you've tried everything and it's not happening, why don't you consider changing your intention? You know, it could be changing your intention to adoption, but it could also be changing your intention to just say, okay, universe, what is it that I'm meant to be focusing on if it's not this? Because ultimately, what we want is to feel at peace with our lives, to feel fulfilled with our lives. And if we are dead set on a result, especially one that gets thwarted, we are going to feel unhappy for the rest of our lives. And even if you fulfill and get that result, if you're still focused on keeping that result going, then you're losing so much of what else is possible for you in your life. And again, all of us want to be happy. All of us want to have peace of mind and that inner peace. And it's only possible when we learn how to release a specific outcome or end and instead replace it with intention and allowance and that dance of co-creation with the universe, as my friend Beth Green says. You know, it's a co-creation with the universe, intention and allowance. That is the way forward that will bring you what you actually really want, which is happiness coming from inner peace. So thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you next week.